Are you a public speaker?
I'm not a public speaker, but I'm a trainer and a facilitator. So you tend to talk a lot in front of people because you have an audience, you have to present, you have to create content. So there's a thin line, but I'm working now towards being a public speaker. But I'm not yet there. It's something that I started like this year to really get into upskilling myself on a personal level. I've not yet gotten that opportunity to go to a professional certification on public speaking.
You need
But
you need to have a certification.
you have to learn from professionals as well. As much as there's that self-paced learning that you're learning by yourself, I feel I need to hear from the experts. And I think that is my plan for next year. But I tend to talk a lot in front of people, but it is with specific audience because I work with the professionals in terms of workplace. So my audience is the employees.
Right.
Yeah, but when it comes to public speaking, it means you have a totally different audience. You have to look for topic or something that you're supposed to talk about it. But what I've been speaking on, what I've been talking on is just purely upskilling the employees in the companies that I worked with. Yeah, but I'm looking forward to becoming a public speaker.
Because I've seen you post a lot. Always you like presenting something, usually some conferences or whatever. Like when it comes to upskilling employees or talking to employees, is it like always also included like top level management, or it just maybe like the others?
No, it cuts across. Depends on what do you need to communicate, what do you need to upskill. So for me, I deal with all levels of employees from the top to the junior level, just making sure that everyone is aligned to the organizational objective because our main purpose as L&D is to make sure that the skill set that the organization have is aligned to what they want to achieve. So let's say, for example, the company is pushing a lot of in terms of sales. So for me is to come in and say, do our sales team have the skill set that is required to achieve this? How do I get to identify that? So I do what is called needs analysis, which is like
Needs.
needs analysis. So just to understand their learnings, where are they currently in terms of their capabilities? And the next is where do we want to be or where do we want them to be in terms of the skill set? And I identify the gap. And that is now what is going to inform me to design a content or a training program for the team and then just roll out for them. Yeah.
Is it like some kind of audit?
Yes, you do what is called skill set audit. You are auditing to know what is available currently, where do we want to be as the company, and then just identify where the team is because there are those who are really good, there are those who are struggling. So these who are struggling, what do we need to do to upskill them to the level that we want them to be? Yeah. So that is basically what I've been doing.
Interesting. So you say if you, let's say, if I'm a new boss coming to a company and I want to see how well my employees are doing in terms of like, I don't know, delivering a service or yeah, delivering a service or producing a product, things like this. So you say you can manage to assess like the level of competency.
Yes.
Kind of.
Yes. So you check and say, how are they performing currently? And you are able to talk to them. You can be able to observe. You can be able to talk now, like if you're the manager, you're able to tell me that we have these kind of objectives as the department. We are trying to achieve them, but I feel so and so is struggling. So for me is to come and find out which areas are they struggling in and what kind of support do they need. Is it a training? Is it material? Is it so? When you do this analysis, it tells you what you need to, what is needed actually. Like basically, sometime a manager will say that my team is struggling. I think they need a training. But when you talk to the team, you realize they need the tools. They don't need a training. So that is what needs analysis tells you. And you're able now to decide what is the next step for this team. Yeah.
And what happens next?
What happened next is just when you have talked to the team, you've identified that they're struggling in this area, this is the gap, then it is now made to develop. So you are going to design and develop a program that is going to make sure that you are upskilling this team. And therefore you roll out that program, meaning now you either decide you're bringing them to class, or either you're assigning them an e-learning module, or either it is a workshop kind of, it involves a lot. You decide what fits to close this gap. And after that, you are able now to evaluate and see, did this team, when you train them or when you given them a module to learn, did they retain the knowledge, and are they implementing the knowledge, and what is the outcome? And after a few months now, you do what is called evaluation, just to find out, we implemented a program, how are they faring on right now? Because at the end of the day, we have to close that gap to support the organization. Yeah.
Is it like some kind of API that can measure this kind of efficiency?
Measuring efficiency can be
Like,
some.
oh, let's say not efficiency, but like achieving these goals. Yeah. How do you measure? Like, is it like a KPIs that you set for the team, or maybe some managers they set for you?
Yes, that part of measuring is that, because if you are the manager of this team, you had told me, maybe you had said that this team is struggling in handling customer queries, and then now we develop a program on how you can handle these customer queries efficiently and better. So for me, I'll come in now after the implementation is to check, are they using the knowledge that they gain? And are we seeing improvement? What are the customers saying? What do you as a manager is saying? Has there been a change? Even the team themselves, do they feel confident that I have gained skills and I'm implementing and I'm being efficient and I'm doing better than before the training? So there's quite a lot that you need to observe after that to see the effectiveness of the program that you've developed.
Can you can you do an example like of this kind of experience of yours? Like, yeah, can you share some examples?
Yeah, for example, in an organization, you get to see that we are really struggling in meeting the KPIs. Definitely the numbers, like for example, the revenue numbers. Sometime during the employee engagement, the employee will complain and say, my manager is struggling, or I'm struggling to have that collaboration with my manager. And you find now the employees saying that, I think our managers are not up to in terms of leadership skill set. So it is now you to find out, are the managers well skilled, or do they have the competencies that are required to lead the team? And that is now when you're doing the needs analysis and say, let me find out, why is the team either complaining or giving feedback that they're struggling to really collaborate with their managers? And you do now the needs analysis, talking to the managers. Do you feel confident to lead this team? The team has given feedback and we've seen these areas. Do you think these are the areas that you're struggling in? And that is now when you get to identify and say, maybe some leadership upskilling is required here. And now that is when you develop a program that is going to close that gap. And then you roll out and decide, how long is this program going to take? And sometimes it's not easy telling someone who has an experience, like for example, 10 years, and then you're telling them you have a gap in leadership skill, but you have to show them the value, because this is where we are. This is what the team is saying. This is what you're saying. This is where we are. And we feel as a leader, this is the level that you should be. So this program is going to help you to get that confidence that you're able to work the journey with the team, and you're able to lead the team instead of managing this team. Then now you roll out the program. The program can be something that it can be a workshop one day. It can be a program that is taking even 3 months. It can be a program that is even taking 6 months, whereby you learn various areas of leadership to make sure that you've closed all the gaps that they are experiencing, so that later you're able now to hold them accountable and say, you've done the program, but why is still your team still saying this? So sometimes you may not be able to hold the leaders accountable if you've not shown them how they should be doing it, how they should lead the team. So for us, we come in and say, we empower you first, we upskill you first before we ask you now. You've gone through the program. The team is still saying we're struggling with you. Then what is going on? So it is easier to approach that way. So we never judge like any leader and say, oh, you're a poor leader. Your team is complaining about you.
You
First,
don't approach it directly and say like you know reveal the problem or what's on your mind. Like you never you never just say, hey, like you have a poor management skills, things like this.
no, that is, you will not get the objective if you approach it that way. It has to be a collaborative whereby you're getting feedback from the team and then also you getting feedback from the manager. And then now you're coming into the consensus and say, why is there a gap or there are like misalignment? What is going on here? So that you identify that gap, so that when we come in and say we are rolling out a program or we are taking you through this program, you will see the value because these are the objectives that we need to achieve. So at the end of the day, the buy-in also is something that is very critical when it comes to learning. You will never
Yeah, it's
roll out.
it sounds like a bit of psychology at work, right?
Of course, yeah. A bit of it, because you have to really understand that everything is for the best interest of the employees also and the company. So for me is to come in and say the organization needs to get here. Our leaders needs to be in this level when it comes to leadership skills. Are we yet there? If not, what do we need to do? And we now do the programs. Yeah.
Who usually make this request? Like, I mean, there is this company, or maybe you can share your experience, and then eventually they say like, okay, we need someone like you, for example. How they come up to like yeah, to this conclusion, you know, that okay, we need someone to do this all this kind of assessments, all these audits in the organization to understand this climate or understand the efficiency and what employees are actually doing from your point of view. Like how do you see this happening? Because I think there are many organizations that don't have this, right?
Yes, you'll find, but
And why is it important?
right now, I think every organization requires really learning and development because business is very dynamic right now and things are changing, and you must be ready to make sure that your employees are very adaptable. Your employees have the right skill set for the future, for now and for the future, to make sure you're ready in case business change or you need to adjust or you need to refocus your business or repurpose your business. So every organization, learning is something that is continuous because of the changes that are happening. So for me, it is important to have learning and development because it ensures that there is efficiency. You have the correct skill sets to support your business objectives. Two, you are ready for the future because we don't look at only the skills that you need right now. How about tomorrow? If today we have COVID coming again or something like
War.
pandemic and all that, how are you going to adjust quickly as a business? So whenever you have L&D, it helps you to get ready for now to achieve the objectives that you have right now and also for the future.
Assuming your goal is to retain employees, is it important?
Exactly. It is one of the key in retaining because when you invest in your employees, then they perform efficiently in their duties, and then they're able to deliver or drive results that you need. When they are well equipped to perform, then they feel that they should be part of this organization even longer, and they feel they have you grow loyalty among the employees when you invest in them, rather than when you are just pressurizing them, putting the pressure, numbers, bring in this, and you're doing nothing about it. Then they'll burn out. And also they will not feel like you are taking time to really understand if they're ready. to support your objectives. So it is very critical role in every organization, and I feel every organization will really invest in it.
Why I feel like it's really in my head it's mixing with HRs, because HR is also like human resources. They're supposed to, in my view, take care of employees, but it looks like L&D is actually is like L&D focused on this even more, or maybe what's the difference then between HR and L&D on your yeah
L&D is
in
a
your
function
experience?
of HR.
Okay.
Yes. So in organizations, you'll find that L&D is part of HR. You will never separate the two.
It's is part of HR.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. In most
I thought it's
organizations,
like a separate branch.
no, not really, unless the organization is so huge, but still part of the HR functions is talent development, meaning investing in your employees to develop the right skills. So you will never separate L&D from HR unless it is you focusing on maybe basically maybe sales, or you have a commercial branch that deals with just more of trainings to make sure that any business process is completed. But I think that is what was happening in MGAS, is whereby it was separate from HR and being part of more of commercial team. But in most organizations, you find that if you want to do 360 in terms of talent development, then it works together. You'll never separate the two. Yeah. So, but in some organizations, they feel like maybe they need to have two branches, whereby because we have the operational trainings, commercial trainings, and sometimes it takes a lot of time where you feel like, let me separate the two. But at the end of the day, you will need L&D to make sure that they're working together with HR to make sure that we develop our employees. We make sure that they are growing in terms of the skill set and even in terms of the positions. How are you making sure that they have a career path, career progression? Because that is what is required, is to upskill them to make sure that someone feels that I'm growing in my role.
Motivated.
They are motivated
Yeah.
even to give you more as a business, because you're investing in my career progression, you're investing in my future, and you're making me to grow in terms of the skill set. Because if I come in and join your organization, I'm bringing in the knowledge that I had, and you do nothing about it, at the end of the day, I feel like you're just here. I'm just here to work, nothing else. You don't feel motivated. You don't feel, it's just like,
It's just
I
any
do
other job.
any other job, and you just move on. It makes when you even retention is you will struggle with retention if you don't invest in L&D in an organization. Yeah, but I think this is something that I feel, for me, it's been, I was made for this actually. Like, I like it when I see someone grow, not only in their job, but also in their skills. So coming with the background of being a teacher,
You?
yeah, I'm a trained teacher. So I started off as, but I never went to class, but I trained, my bachelor's is education. So I was meant to train to teach in high school. But I felt that it was going to be a routine. Like, I don't like something that doesn't challenge me. So I felt like I needed to work in a bigger scope. And I found L&D being the space that it stretches me, because it is a continuous learning actually.
You have like a more room for being creative, right?
Yes, you have to be
Yeah,
creative.
you have to be very creative, right?
Yes, you have to be very creative. Reason being is that
As
when
opposed to a teacher where you just follow
the curriculum that
right.
has been set either by the government, you have to follow that. There's nothing, as much as you will be creative in how you deliver that content.
True.
But when it comes to L&D, imagine you're just going to a blank, you're being given a blank book that we are here is our organization, here are our employees. You need to find out where they're struggling in, or where the business is struggling in, and you have to come up with something that is going to help us to make sure that we achieve our objectives. We have to make sure that our employees are well skilled. You have to make sure that they have the right competencies. So for me, it stretches me, it makes me to think, and it makes me to continuously learn. You will never stop learning when you are in L&D, because even when you move organizations, they are always different. I've moved quite a bit, and every organization is different from the other. The employees that you're finding in this organization, you will always apply the skill set, but it stretches you to think and say, what will fit for this organization? What will work? Because what worked elsewhere might not work here. And you have to be very, very creative. And then also making your learnings, because when you're teaching adults, you're not teaching them that, telling them that, if you don't pass, then it is going to affect your life. Like in high school, you're told it is a make or break. If you don't pass your exams, then it means your future is impacted. But here you have someone who is well established in their careers. They have so much experience. They've come, and then you have to convince them that this is important for you to go through the learning, and you have to make them engaging. You have to make them like it. It's something that whenever I think about it, especially when I am told that this is the audience that I need to train or teach, before even you roll out, you are going to think of their audience, like, what will they say? Will they like it? Will they learn? Will they retain? So it pushes you a lot to research and research.
Are you like allowed also to do grades like in at work, to like like assess people at work and say like, okay, you get A or no?
No, what actually happens is that you can test what we call knowledge retention, whereby you ask questions to find out, like, at the end of this session, what have you learned? Just to make sure that you understand that they retain some knowledge that they're going to implement. Sometimes you do some assessment depending on the program that you are administering. And then also, most of the time, what we use is case studies that is applicable to work. So, like, for example, you have this experience. Let's say, for example, there is this customer who has this issue. You, as playing this role in this organization, what will you do? So it is a case scenario. Most of the time is role plays. So at the end of the day, you'll just observe and say, after retain knowledge, because what is important is that they go and implement what they've learned. Otherwise, if they come in and then they go without learning anything, it is like they've wasted time, and yet they are very busy people. So there's competing priorities. Come learn, or you should be out there serving the customer. So that is also some of the challenges that we normally experience as L&D, is to balance between serving the customer and training the team, because there's competing priorities. There's quite a lot that needs to be done. They have their individual KPIs, and they have to go through programs again. Yeah.
Have you ever like met resistance, a lot of resistance, where you couldn't implement your practices at work? Let's say they hired you, but then when you started doing what you're supposed to do, and you couldn't do it, and everyone was like wondering why do we need this?
We face a lot of that.
Oh.
Very quite frequent. And like, for example, if we are very busy, like there's so much to be done, it is a busy, let's say, for example, it's a busy season. Like, for example, my recent employer, which is hospitality, it's a 24-hour economy. You work through.
What do you mean?
It's
24-hour economy. What's that?
It's in hospitality, hotel industry. So
you're like always available.
Yeah, I recently joined. I worked with, briefly after MGAS, I worked with a Curio Collection by Hilton, that is based in Kitusuru.
Hilton.
Yes.
The hotel.
Yes.
Oh, that's why you posted so many posts from hotels.
Yes, that is when I was working there. So you find that it is a totally different industry, because we have like shifts. Teams are working in shifts, and then events are happening here and there. So sometimes you plan a program and you have to cancel because there's an event. You can't pull the teams to come for training. But what I have learned is that the buy-in really is very important.
The what?
Buy-in, like
Buy-in.
from the top leadership, to just get to understand the value, why we need this. Because sometimes you might struggle again serving even the customers or achieving the objectives if your team is not well equipped. So at the end of the day, you have to show value to them and say it is important to upskill the team.
How to show this value? How to show that this is important?
Showing is, this is where we are currently. When you look at the feedback, let's say, for example, the team themselves telling you that I'm struggling in this area, or the customer complaints are coming in, how we are handling our processes, we are missing the mark in terms of the targets.
Like the revenue?
Yes,
Okay.
the revenue target. So at the end of the day, you have to say that this is what you need for us to improve on this area. So show them the value, but make sure that before even you decide that we need to roll out any program, you have discussed with the leadership to understand why is this important, why are we doing this, why do we need it, and how are we going to do it, so that they know, is it going to impact my operation? If it's going to impact operation, what can we do to mitigate so much impact on the business and minimize the operation disruptions? At the end of the day, you can work on a plan that fits the operation, and then also you're able to achieve your objectives. So it's kind of it's collaboration, discussions, collaboration, and it's never ending, because sometimes you say we are set, and then it becomes like a busy season. You have to hold again before you roll out again. So, but I've learned that at the end of the day, this must be done. We need this. Organization requires this. So at the end of the day, is this. Let's discuss how do we collaborate to make sure that you learn as well as also we serve our customers or even other employees.
I guess sometimes it's easy to implement your ideas and basically follow the plan, but sometimes it's not as easy. But how to get this solved? Like, let's say in an organization, like, do you have like an instrument how you can basically like push this forward to the people? Like I mean, let's say if you meet a lot of resistance, right? How to fix this? Do you usually like go to the leadership for support, or how?
Yeah, its collaboration, as I mentioned, is that as much as also you will need the leadership support, they also like team leads, the mid-level managers, the junior staffs themselves, to understand why this is important. So it is a discussion that cut across. So you have to involve everyone who is the stakeholder. It's not just like deciding as an individual. You'll meet a lot of resistance if you don't involve all the stakeholders. So it is just bringing them on the table, discussing why do we need to do this, and this is how we're going to do it. And in case we experience this challenge, this is how we are going to maneuver, how we are going to manage it, so that everyone is aligned. Because alignment is key. That it's critical, because for me it has really helped me a lot to make sure that you align with all the teams. At the end of the day, it make your process easier. But if you try to bulldoze and say, oh, I am here and we must do this, then you will never achieve any objective.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's very difficult, because when you face resistance, you never force people to do things that...
You need to establish like a friendly type of atmosphere. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
Yes, and we call themselves as we are enablers. We enable you to achieve those objectives. So at the end of the day, we have to collaborate.
You're like a good policeman. And the bad policeman is just the managers.
Yes, so you have to bring them on the table and just discuss with them, understand, and you will have a good starting point when you have aligned with all of them. Yeah.
Right. Have you ever had like a where just everything completely failed, where you, in your experience, I mean, where you really really tried, but nothing could just work? Have you ever had such experience?
Yes, especially when for you, you think, I think at one point, when you observe the organization and you're like, I think they need this training, but they are not seeing it. You're trying to show them that this is really important. And they are like, no, we don't need that. We feel we are okay. But for you, even from your assessment, you felt like this is what we needed. But when they didn't listen, you're like, I'm just going to put the teams and I'm going to roll out this program. And the first, we said we don't need this. It's not important. At the end of the day, if there's no buy-in, if there's no collaboration, then it fails. At the end of the day, even you might have trained everyone, but since there was no buy-in from the top, then at the end of the day, the team is like, it's not important. Because what we believe is that if it is not important to my manager, then it's not important to me. So, end of the day, it fails. Yeah.
Right. And what's next? I mean,
What next is going to...
is it like going to frustrate you,
It-
or it's like it's okay, it's just part of the job?
It's part of the job, but still you'll feel the frustration. You'll be frustrated. But one thing is that as teachers, as trainers, we always learn from any outcome of any situation. So what could I have done better? So we evaluate and say, what could have been done to make sure that this works? How am I going to approach my future sessions so that I don't fail like this one? And if you need to focus and see what are some of the obstacles that I might face, so that you deal with it before you start. So for me, it's been a learning process. Every experience has taught me something, and has taught me not how to do my next sessions. So I'll just say that, it didn't go well, so therefore I learn from it and move to the next. And it keeps me now being better and better. And I think I've really, really grown from different organizations that I've worked in, like now 10 years of experience.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have you ever worked like in a toxic environment?
I think I don't want to call it that, but I think I will call it
Let me ask you. Let me approach it different. What is a toxic environment to you? How would you describe a toxic environment?
I think toxic environment is where I am not aligning with what is happening. Like, for example, there's a lot going on whereby you don't feel really fitting well into that culture that is happening, because in a toxic culture, you feel like you should not be part of this. So for me, how I approach...
It's like you are in a constant rejection. You're like, no, 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 no. This is not my thing.
Yes, you're feeling you're not part of this. You're feeling that you don't fit into this, what is happening currently, the behavioral things that are happening.
The culture fit.
Yes.
It's like failing.
I'm not part of this. You want out of it. You feel frustrated. You feel tired. You feel exhausted. That is like the toxic culture. Have I experienced it? Yes, I have. And I think it's like a learning lesson. Sometimes also you just go back to the drawing board and say, why am I feeling this? Am I also contributing? But at the end of the day, sometimes you find a culture that is not fitting you well, then you tend also to come up with a device way to survive. So it becomes survival.
Right.
So I think I've survived. And when you come out of it, you feel like, wow, what was that? And you now like in the next employer, this is what I'm looking for. So it has helped me now to be like, let me also, when you are evaluating me during the interview, I'm also evaluating you. What is your people saying? What are people saying out here about you as employer?
Nice.
So it's no longer...
I love this.
Yeah.
when you becoming also like interviewer to
Yes, I have to
yeah.
also assess you
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
in
yeah,
terms
I
of
agree.
fitting, because it is exhausting to work in a very toxic environment. It takes a lot from you. You find that we spend a lot of time at workplace. So if it is not fitting, it affects all parts of your life. You leave frustrated from work, you get home,
Right.
you have no energy even for other uh, life. You just feel frustrated and tired.
Anxious. You
Anxious.
become anxious, a lot of anxiety. But I feel like I think you would be the best person who can see this from within. I mean, like, because let's say different departments, right? They have like, let's say IT, whatever, but kind of you collaborate with everyone, with different people. Some
Yes,
departments they never cross path with others, right? But you, let's say you can observe
exactly.
more. And what do you think? Or what usually is the reason of this kind of toxicity? Is it like some individuals that causing other people also to be toxic, or like, because I have some take on this one, but yeah, it's interesting what you think.
Okay, I think there is quite a lot that contributes to the toxic culture. Sometimes there is what we call systemic. Eh? Systemic is that,
Systemic.
yes, like the systems that have been put in place make the environment toxic. Like how the business has been running for quite some time. We are used to doing this. This is how we are. This is how we behave. And then you join the organization like, oh, you think you will change this organization? In the next few months, we will see where you will be. And you find yourself fitting now into that systemic culture, those behavioral nuances that people just role model in every day. And the people get used to it. They don't see it, but someone from outside, you feel like it is going to suffocate you. And when you try to do something about it, people will look at you and like, do you think you will do anything about it? It's been happening since this organization was formed. So it becomes like a systemic whereby it is inherited. People come in, instead of changing, you conform and you just fit in, you stay there. And then also there's now contribution also of individual team members. There's some people who by nature can make your workplace miserable. And you'll
Miserable.
struggle you'll struggle with them until you feel like maybe you need to get out. And then
Like,
also
for example, how they make it miserable.
there is like, for example, you go into the organization and maybe
And they say like, this is bad.
they're like, this is bad. And then there is also that the competition. There's also people want to shine on their own, not as a team. There's no teamwork. There's no collaboration. So at the end of the day, you find someone is for each for their own. Like, I'm just here. Um, I'm doing my job. I want to shine on my own, forgetting that everything in the organization is teamwork. You understand? So we have people also who stop on other people's toes. They just want to grow. They become like, I don't want to call them snitch, but they just want to make sure that they are the one.
They become this corporate in a bad sense of the because some people, when they say about corporate culture, they mean it in a bad way.
Yeah.
Like it's something not really attractive.
Yes.
So I guess because of this kind of people.
Yeah. Then also other contributing factors also are ill-equipped managers. There's some managers, maybe they don't have leadership competencies. So at the end of the day, you find that they create, if you're a manager, you will create an environment that the team feels suffocated. The team feel like you're toxic as a manager. So there's quite a number of factors. And sometimes also when you conform into this environment, you become toxic yourself because you have to survive in this toxic environment. By the time you're getting out of there, you have to do detoxification. Like, what really did just happen? I just need to take a
Detox.
break and relook at how I am feeling, what I have become, because some environments can really change you. And I've experienced that, whereby you feel like you are really doing well, but because you have to survive, you get into that mode because what's happening in the organization, whereby you may not be able to survive. if you continue doing this. So you got into survival more, but it's not long term. Maybe you're surviving as you look for a job. Because when it gets to that level, I think that is what
I
you
think
need to get out.
yeah.
Or if you can't change, then it's not something that.
I think some people they become so influential at work, and they make friends, but they don't match a company values,
Yes.
right? But they are still very influential at work, and then they create this little culture inside the company culture, right?
Yes.
And when you see such people, right, what are you also have to deal with those when it comes to, let's say, upskilling and shifting, polishing company culture and values, making sure
Yes.
employees they understand this and this and this. And when you face this kind of individuals where you feel like they have a strong personality, but they create this toxicity around them, and everyone, they just misbehave. Everyone who deals with those people also get how do you call it, infected.
Definitely, the toxic culture infects everyone within that atmosphere. But for me, if you're coming in from an L&D perspective,
Yes,
those
yes.
are the things that we identify.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you find that this person has gone through a lot of trainings. They know what they're supposed to do, but the environment has enabled them to do that. There's
Okay,
office
yeah.
politics. There are people who behave like cartels in offices. They become untouchable. And at the end of the day,
Untouchable?
yeah,
What does that mean?
It means these are the people that they have connections, so it is very difficult to even implement anything because maybe they get to be heard more than the rest. So, and they've created their own environment where they feel they have a say in the organization, and you're trying to change. You find yourself struggling a lot because maybe the top leadership are with
Friends.
friends, or even
They got
protecting.
hired because they are friends of someone, right?
Yeah, and then they are being protected by this systemic culture. You understand?
Tell me, does it happen a lot?
It does happen, but what I like right now about many organizations is that as soon as you identify that, you do something about it and call it out as it is. Where the failure will come in is when the top leadership just entertain or enable them, and the other employees becomes helpless, whereby now people are like, I think I need to get out of this. And then that is why when you see many people now are actively looking for jobs, searching for jobs, because maybe they have aired out their grievances and nothing is being done about it. Trainings have been done and nothing is changing. So you become like in a situation whereby you feel you're helpless and you need to get out, and you're just looking for an opportunity out there. So it also creates a place whereby retention is an issue. You're not retaining, you're losing good talent while you are protecting a culprit. Yeah. So I think leadership, everyone in the leadership position should be able to have the confidence and say that when you hear this, do something about it. Listen to the feedback and implement the feedback. If it means like calling out these people and just telling them, go through a program so that you change your ways, then you should do that. If you find that they are not fit for the organization, then you'll do a way of something to exit them, because at the end of the day, it impacts the organizational retention rate. You'll be recruiting and hiring every now and then. It is like a revolving door. Come in, go, come in, go. Yet it could be a few people which is causing that. So you need to do something about it immediately. You see about, and I've worked with organizations just to identify what do we do with this type of a person, and it becomes so difficult. Then
Imagine it affects the quality of the product you do. I always wonder, at the end of the day, what's more important? Those kind of people that stay and just keep things as they are because maybe they are afraid to change anything, or maybe they don't have the competency of changing things or improving things. Let's say, um, a good talent, it's above what organization is ready to pay, right? But like maybe you need you need a skill, you need a skill set that is currently not available. But for that, you would need to hire maybe someone and pay them more salary.
Yes.
Does it happen? I mean, and at the end of the day, like, no one wants to pay. So I'm saying, what is more important? Eventually, revenue and product quality comes first, and it pushes basically you to let's say to identify all those gaps and suggest a way of fixing them, maybe upskilling people, suggesting to the leadership and to the HR team that, look, I think we need to because some of these guys, we are not able to fix some of the issues, and what we understand, like, this is not like the processes are not very efficient or whatever. Because I feel like people, the market rates are low, but I feel like when the problem needs to be fixed, eventually what I believe in is that the company is willing to pay double to get the right person to do the right job.
Yes.
And to, like, or what do you think? Or is it a problem? Is it still a problem where they still will be willing to get a friend or to this job opportunity? I mean, friend of a friend of a manager, and say like, hey, no, I'll put my person here. It doesn't matter the product quality,
No, I think right now, business dynamics right now. There's quite a lot that changing in the business environment. So as a company also, if you're going to entertain this kind of mediocre leadership, inefficiency, ineffectiveness, at the end of the day, your competition will beat you. Hands down, there's a lot of competition out there. So, as people responsible for talent acquisition and recruitment, you have to make sure that you're mapping out what organization actually requires in terms of merit and the right skills. So for me, I'll always say that ensure you get the correct talent, because it supports you in the long term. You might bring in your friend who you will struggle with, and then after that, the business will suffer. And when it suffers, it affects everyone in the organization, because you might end up downsizing, you might end up reorganization, restructuring, and all that. So the most important is just let everything be merited. And when it is merited, then you will get the right talent. And when you get the right talent, invest in them in terms of giving now the skills that they require, making sure that they are happy, they are compensated well, the culture is correct, the support that they get is correct. Otherwise, in long term, it is going to bite you back as an organization. And we've seen organization whereby you entertain, recruit my relative. At the end of the day, you find yourself going out of business. You're not a charity organization. If you are a profit-making organization, you must get the right talent, and you must invest in developing and growing your talent. Yeah, because in places whereby you have to have connection, like, for example, you were to be recruited maybe to a government institution where connection is really
Of course, government is a separate story,
yeah,
right?
yeah, it's a separate story, like, yeah,
But business is a different thing.
yeah, it's a different thing,
right.
and it has to be on merit. Yeah, it has to be on merit, and even if you are through referral, make sure that referral, because referral also is one of the best way of recruiting, because I know someone who can do this job. Let them go through the recruitment process like anyone else, and you're able to identify this is the right fit for our organization. Yeah, and then from there, you will not struggle with what we're talking about now, the toxicity, the negative company culture, the office politics that impacts the operations, that impacts the productivity and efficiency. Yeah, because when you have the right talent, then it means you're set to scale up, you're set to achieve and drive results. Yeah.
When it comes to, like, paying people salaries and compensating people, right, I also feel like there's like a general trend to pay less? I mean, no, is it? I mean, you've seen different organizations, right, during these years, and like let's say some people that I used to work with, they now got hired and working in a different companies, and they have all different stories, different feedback. Some companies um, they are willing to pay more. Some companies they want you to do twice more but for less money, right? And can you also see that from your perspective
Yes, I think what
when
has
they
been
like put too much on employee and they want them to just work almost for free, and they still say like, why are you not happy? You should be happy.
Yeah, I think that one has mostly also be contributed with less opportunities available. You find that we have so many people getting out of colleges, they have degrees, they want to get into the job market, but the opportunities are very low. So the supply of the talent is higher than the opportunities that are there. So at the end of the day, some employers feel that I will remunerate the way I feel, because if you're not going to take it, someone else is desperate to take it. You get?
Right.
Yeah, so it's something that is not really good. And you find that the pressure that you're putting on these people is so much as compared to the compensation. The compensation is day and night. Like, you see the productivity, what you're making, what the business, even if the business is making crazy profits, you end up like paying peanuts because you feel that there's talent available. Even if this one is not going to take it, I'll get someone else who will still take it. And
This is very important. And when they get this someone else, do they really get the high quality talent?
now that is where the challenge is with
Yeah.
most employers, not seeing the amount of time being lost when you are recruiting, training to get to the level of this experienced employee. So what you need to be looking at is, how do I remunerate this experienced employee to align with their productivity so that they continue to support my operations and support my business and drive results in my business. But it is normally, they don't see that because it is very expensive to start recruiting, training until they get to the level that you need. So the best is to invest in who you have. If they're really good talent, develop them, compensate them well so that they support you for long term. But you've seen organizations whereby recruiting because the compensation is not aligning with
How long does it take to realize this simple truth?
until the business realizes that for long-term profitability, for scaling also the business, you have to do it right. You have to compensate it well.
So they only realize when it hurts.
Yes, when they start realizing that you're bringing in people and the productivity is going down, what is happening? You have the same number of employees, but the productivity is going down, because even if you don't compensate the ones who are there, they'll give you the bare minimum. Because why should I be going an extra mile with the minimum pay? Like less, way, way less pay. And they'll ask themselves, you're not investing anything in them. So therefore, let me just do as whatever I can, the bare minimum. So you start realizing that when you're starting off, people will give all.
Right.
But when they realize that, at the end of the day, I say, what is in it for me? I'm making you this much amount of revenue, but you're not looking back and say, this revenue need to trickle down to benefit the employer. So let them feel. If you're happy as a business owner, then your employees should be happy as well. Therefore, it will translate even to happy customer. But if the employees are unhappy, it means the customer will be unhappy, because I'm not going extra mile. I'm not giving it all. I'm just there to earn this paycheck at the end of the day, because I don't see the need why I should give you more and you don't recognize the effort that we're putting in. So what they need to realize is that you might see the graph going up this way at the start, whereby your productivity is high. But the moment they realize, the employee realizes that their profitability is not trickling down, because it should translate to now more review in salaries, more review in benefits, more review in trainings and all that. But if they realize that you're not doing that, then at the end of the day, the productivity goes down. And then you start like, oh, they're not performing. Let me exit them and get a new person. You get a new person, you struggle with them. At the end of the day, you will not sustain your performance. Yeah.
To break this cycle, does it takes like to get to some disaster level when it's like everything is just falling apart and you're like, okay, we need to do something.
Now you start firefighting. What is going on? Can
Yeah.
I get? And then you find business say, let me get a consultant. You already knew what was ailing you.
Again,
but now you're
consultant.
like, I need someone outside to come and identify. You already know where the problem is. If you are done and you've even taken feedback from the employees themselves, then you will not be in that situation. But you start saying, let me get a consultant, let me get this, and then you
Some
start
audit.
firefighting. And sometimes it could be too late. You sometimes even like, oh, let me now review, the employees are leaving, and then you want now to counter offer. And then they're telling you, no, I had asked, I had requested, nothing was ever done. Let me just go. You understand? Yeah. So it's
okay, yeah. They can try to bring back some employees that they already left.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And it can be too late sometime for the business. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the best person to point this out in the company and say, hey, you guys should just stop hiring this low quality talent in this place here and get a good guy?
I think that is something that is has to be, every leadership in the company knows the talent that they would like to work with. You know where you are going as a business. So therefore, you already have a mindset of who do you want to work with. Because when you create like a job description and say, this is the kind of person I need in this role, then the talent acquisition also should be able to look at it, say, are we going to get this person? And when you get this person, what are you going to do to make sure that you develop, you grow, and you retain this person? So that's something that before even you go out there in the market, you must make sure that it is very clear who do you want. And it is very clear what they are coming to do. It is very clear their contribution. It's very clear everything that you need as a business is captured in that.
It should be clear.
It should be very clear so that when you are going out there to recruit, then you know exactly who are you looking for. So they'll even come when you bring, they are aligned to the job that they've been employed to, and it is even matching the compensation that they are requiring. So it's collaborative from the HR, the leadership, the hiring managers, everyone has to participate to make sure that we get the correct talent. Yeah.
Right. So if it doesn't work, then leadership fails.
Yes.
To recognize that.
Yes.
And if the leadership fails,
then the business fails.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then basically the only the numbers can show you that something is wrong.
Yes.
At the end.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. I think this is very interesting.
Yeah, it is. And from my perspective of L&D as well, is that whenever a good talent is brought in, it's just to make sure that do we have a clear picture in terms of their growth? Because at the end of the day, everyone wants to grow. I've moved the organization because I want to grow. If I stay for longer and I'm not growing, I'll feel like, what is happening?
You know, we used to have a trend where you moving between organization is growing, not staying in one. Staying in one, the other word of growing, what is it called? Opposite to growing, stagnating. Stagnation. Yeah. Because when you change different organizations, you get to get some more experience. You know how people work here, how they do here, how they work. But it was relative to IT and specifically like some small size of companies where you get to this company, they have something good, something bad, but then when you change, you learn that this company has this fixed, but this is not fixed. And then you go to another company, and this company has everything perfect, but this thing is not good. So it's like as quickly as you can change, the more you kind of have good quality experience. But I also know a case where one of my friend's friend, he was recruited. He had a few interviews with Japanese company, and he's like one of those guys like a senior level. And they told him after, like, they liked him, his competency, his level of understanding the project, the technologies and everything. But what threw them off was that he changed too many companies, and they said like, "Oh, this is not good.
And
You're not a loyal employee.
yeah.
You like, if you changed, and that should, because like during those 2 years, and he didn't change as much. It was just during the last 2 years he changed one company, or during 3 years, and they said, "Oh, this is not good. We can't hire you."
Yeah, I think it depends on some organizations. Some organizations sees that as a red flag because maybe they're looking for long term. I'm looking for this role and I need someone who is coming in to support for the next, let's say, for example, 3 years. But if you see someone with 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, then it becomes like a red flag. Am I recruiting and then in 1 year they will have left? But what has changed recently, but it used to be like that. You go to an organization, you've stayed maybe for 1 year, and then they'll ask in the interview, why do you want to move? Are you again looking for a job? And then you will come and again and move to the next. But I think right now, some companies have started appreciating the experience that you gain as you move along, because it gives you that solid experience to be able to know I've worked in this industry, I've worked in this industry. So it gives you a bigger perspective and you become even more, you learn more skills, you get more experience, and you're able to deliver results within the shortest time possible. But it depends on what the company requires. For me, I changed, for the last 3 years, I've changed 3 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I consider, I think what happened is that after MGAS, I'd worked in an organization. I worked in MultiChoice for 4 years, 9 months. I was approaching 5 years, and I felt like, that's a lot of time. And I haven't changed positions in those years, and I'm like, I need to really grow. And for me, what was the motivating factor is that I felt like I had stagnated in my career and I needed to grow and grow so fast, so quickly. So I changed.
You flipped.
Yeah, and I'm like, I have been in this organization. That's quite a lot of years being in the same role, doing the same thing, same job. Like nothing has changed for 5 years. I'm like, no. I feel like now I'm under pressure to grow in terms of the skill set, to grow in terms of compensation, to grow in terms of experience. So when I moved to MGAS, it was really nice and good experience being able to lead a team and even a bigger team, and working with the team in a fast-paced environment. It gave me really good experience as a leader. I was able to develop myself. I was able to get to see what it means to be in that position. And then quickly, I felt like my time is up here. Let me change. Quickly move to hospitality. I worked in MGAS for 1 year, 9 months.
Almost 2 years.
Yeah, almost 2 years.
By LinkedIn measures is 2 years.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then moved to hospitality, worked for 1 year, and here I am. At least I'm looking forward now to stabilizing. I think the pressure of I need to grow, the pressure I feel like I have good experience. I feel I'm in a good space right now where I'm now focusing on just contributing and making an impact in my role. And also, as you grow older, there's no pressure now of I want to move from this and this, and you now want to have that solid ground whereby you just making an impact and contributing to the organizational success. And I think I'm in that space right now.
Yeah, you present two qualities of a person who can stay at the same place for some long time, but also a person who can change and look for a better opportunity. What do you, because you said that's why, I mean, now the market changed because they appreciate more where you're not willing to agree for less. I mean, agree to stay the same. To let's say they take it opposite now, right? And when they see a person who change means they were not happy about the salary and they had that courage, right?
And to shift and to move.
Yeah, to risk, because I mean, risk and fail. Sometimes you fail, and failure gives you a very good experience.
Yeah, and also when you are younger, starting off your career, the main motivating factor is a salary. Like you,
Of course, money.
Yeah, money. You just want to move. You want to
Blah
grow.
blah blah culture.
Yeah, like
Give me money.
So, and loyalty at that point, you feel like it's not part of your objectives as an individual. So you're just looking forward to, I need to move this level, this level, this level so much quickly. But I think as you get to really establish now where you feel like you've gained your experience, you've gained knowledge, you have grown as a person, then there's that stability. Now you require stability. You require to focus just on that career and also other aspects of your life. It's no longer about work alone. There's also other aspects. So you just now focus on, like, let me contribute where I am right now. And you find that at least now you become loyal, I can say, and you just liking to work in where you are because you have that stability. Yeah. So for me, I think even when I look at myself, how I started my career, being like I have this degree in education, and I was brought up in upcountry.
Brought up.
Yes, so I grew up in the village.
Yeah.
And my dad is a teacher. He's a retired teacher right now.
Oh, so you are from a family of teachers.
Yeah, so I grew up knowing him, and as a teacher, I knew what it involves being a teacher. But when I went to campus, I also pursued education. After that, I had a desperate move that I don't want to go back to the village because I felt like if I was going to pursue teaching, then it is going to take me back to the village. And I was so desperate to move out of that space. So when I was, in fact, before even I completed my degree, I had already started looking for jobs. And I got one when I was in fourth year. And I think that was how it started. Like, I don't want to go back home, and I need to build myself here in the city. And that is how I started. Even though before even I went back to campus, I had tried a lot. I tried joining the police force. I tried joining the army. I tried joining the uniformed forces, all those kind of, but it never worked because the desperation was to get out of the village. So when I came for higher education, my university education, I was like, I'm not going back to teach in the village. I have to look for something that is going to make me stay in the city. And that is how I started now looking. And I realized that, yes, I am a teacher. I like teaching. So therefore, I need to look for a space where I implement teaching in a bigger perspective.
Right.
And that's how I came now to be in this space. Yeah.
Is teaching like a noble job in Kenya?
Yes, it's a noble profession.
Noble profession.
Yes.
That's what you say. Like that's what people say in Kenya as well.
Yeah.
Because in Ukraine, yeah, it's always been like this, like I don't know, like high level of dedication. You know,
It
you need
requires-
to, yeah, you need to like be passionate. You know,
It should be. If you're not passionate about it, then you will be frustrated because again, when you look at, especially in Kenya, you look at the compensation for teachers is way below what they are contributing.
How much?
I can't tell right now. But
Like for example, like what you know? Do you have any schools you have?
no, I will like say, for example, my dad was a teacher for a very long time, raising a very big family, and the salary was very minimal. Eh?
How much?
I think that's because being a primary school teacher, I think the highest he could earn was around 20,000 or 20 something thousand, and you have a family to raise. So you can imagine that amount, and it takes you like Monday to Friday, and even sometime you have to be in school, even maybe sometime in the weekends. So when you look at it, it requires like commitment, and teachers have created very these other professions. It requires a lot of commitment, dedication, and passion, because otherwise, if it is something that you say I'm going it for money, then it's 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 a tough one. You just have to be contented with what you have.
Is it not because like you take a young person, a blank young individual, and then create something? That's why the teacher is like literally changing a person, creating a personality.
Yes, in fact, like
Right.
producing someone who is going to be someone in this
Right.
country. Teachers produce presidents. Teachers produce every kind of profession that you
Right.
see in the world. You see, that is the work of a teacher. But I think they should rethink. I think teachers, doctors are people who should be really compensated well, because they create everyone.
What's the highest teacher can do? Like can make? What do you think? In a good school in Nairobi,
I
you have no idea.
I have no idea right now, but I think also there's some other like schools that pay their teachers really, really well.
How much?
But I can't really tell. Maybe if you are in government, you have a secure job.
Yeah.
That is what I can say. The job is secure. But I feel the government should do something and raise teachers' salaries.
This situation can be fixed by having private schools. No, when you say you make your own school and you hire a teacher and you pay them how much,
Yeah,
right?
but also that's another thing. Also, you can find a private school making also good money, but still they will use the paying scale of the public schools. Yeah.
But now they have a competition. They have, I mean, why are they better than the other one, right? Because they produce maybe, they have a good image. But I don't know. How much people in R&D make?
I know that is that's
I know it varies.
it varies, and then also as you
Years,
continue
experience, whatever.
as you continue to grow, when you're starting off, you find that it is it's not much.
For example,
Yeah. I think my first L&D job, I started.
you don't have to say yours. You can tell me your colleagues.
Yeah, like an entry level, let's say, for example, an L&D assistant, you find them they're starting off at 60,000.
Okay.
And then now, as you continue to grow,
It's like almost 500 USD.
Yes.
Which is not bad, I guess, comparing to other.
Yeah, when you compare, it's yeah. And then as you continue to grow, it becomes you make a career out of it. Yeah. And
so like how high you can get, and depends on what. Let's say if you're still employed by some big organizations, they are willing to pay like 1 million.
I can't tell right now, but I think when you get to the level of, let's say, for example, you are president of learning, director of learning. I think
in some big company, yeah.
yes, and also when you go to global space, then the compensation is really good. Yeah, and I think I'm looking forward to growing really in global space. But yeah, I can't really complain much when it comes to like L&D. I feel like the companies are realizing right now the importance of L&D, and also why is it important also to compensate these roles really well. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Then it's good. There is some light at the end of the.
Yeah, and I really encourages people to explore L&D because you get to learn every day. Imagine you have to be looking for information that how are you going to train someone else? So it means every day is a learning process. You have to be searching, researching. You have to be looking for information. You have to be consulting. There's a lot that involves. That's why I think I like it. Yeah.
Well, I would feel like I have so many different topics to talk about, like about leadership, about L&D, how to how to become one if you want. Does it mean like you need to be feeling like you are you wanna teach, or you can come from a different perspective? You can come from a different side to this, but I think
I think teaching L&D requires also passion because being able to stand there and pass information or impart knowledge to someone else requires a lot of passion. And then also it involves a lot of talking. You have to talk. You have, and many
public
people
speaking.
Yeah, you have to be
Nice.
in front of people. And it's just like any other teacher teaching in front of the students. But now here you're dealing with professionals and you're dealing with people who have grown in their careers. So, like for example, sometimes you are required to train the CEOs, you're required to train the directors, even the business owners themselves, you need to train them. So, meaning for you as an L&D, you have to really have solid knowledge to be able to pass information to these individuals. So it challenges you to go out of your way to make sure that you upskill yourself. And for you to join like L&D space is that it requires you, right now, I believe everyone can be an L&D if you have the passion for it. Because you don't really have like, you must be a teacher or you must have teaching background. It gives you an opportunity to go for certifications. You can do the trainer certifications. You can do L&D certification and just know how to pass information and know now like identifying what you need to train.
Take it as a challenge.
Yes.
Like challenge yourself, like just go there and try to convey information to people.
Yes.
Yeah, and make
Yeah, so you don't really like say you must have gone through a degree in education. I believe even people from other industries, degrees, it gives you that opportunity to, so long as you're passionate about it and you're willing to go extra mile to upskill yourself, I believe you can be in L&D space. But it requires you to invest a lot in yourself. It requires you to learn. I think whenever I join every industry or any company, it stretches me a lot because you have to really understand what this organization requires. And you have to know the people. What do they want?
and the content is always different.
And the content is always different. Yeah, because I was telling you, for
so
example.
you can never be prepared for the company. You just come and then you just get to understand what is it this thing is about.
Yeah, you have the concept because you can
Just
apply everywhere.
The framework.
Yeah, the framework. But now implementation is something else. And
you learn as you go.
You learn as you go. It is very sometimes challenging. Like for example, when I joined hospitality, getting in, like you have to train chefs, you have to train the hosts, you have to train. Even the security people, you have to train the front office, the housekeeping. I've never done that. I've never.
Nice. That's
So,
actually very interesting
and
because
I'm like,
your job is not boring, right? It's like it's always
yeah, it's exciting.
some new, like, yeah, some new kind of objectives, type of objectives that you have, like, and always new content, new mm, I don't know, like expertise like you are dealing with
Yes. So you're dealing with professionals from different backgrounds.
from chefs to some AI engineers,
Just imagine. Yeah.
right?
You're now dealing with chefs, you're dealing with housekeeping, you're dealing. So for me, I think that was really like a stretch whereby you have to understand I have been in the corporate world for some time. Now here I am in hospitality, a corporate on its own, a different culture nuances, different aspect. Operations is different. You have to work with the shifts. We have like so it was like a learning season for me just to upskill myself to get to the level where I feel confident to be able to stand in front of these people and say, hey, this is what we need to do. And this is where we want to go. So I took that was like it was a stretch, but I also enjoyed it.
Healthy.
Yeah, it was really nice. But also now being also now back to corporate with my current employer, I think also it gave me a challenge. Right now, it's still a learning process. I'm still learning. I'm still understanding the organization. It's not it's L&D is not a plug and play. You can never like bring in what I know to implement here. You have to customize it to every organization, and you cannot do that without understanding the organization deeply. So you have to understand it deeply for you to come up with any learning initiative. And it's been again a stretch. Yeah, it is a stretch in terms of learning. It pushes
Nice.
you from the comfort zone, but I like it. I will not trade anything for this. Yeah,
What else is in your mind?
I think it's a balancing now between like work
Mhm.
and then also trying to do other things like family, the things that I like, the things that I've realized that also when you are also choosing an employer, make sure that you consider that factor. How is the work-life balance? So that because it has to work in two ways. You have to be able to also have another aspect of your life, personal life, family life, religious life, everything aspect of your life. Yeah.
True. I realized this long time ago. You can't grow at work, at your workplace, if you're not growing in your personal life,
Yes.
aside work. Because you can't just give up on yourself. Because, some people, they just work. They basically don't have any life outside of work. That kind of strategy won't help you to grow as at work because you can't just separate yourself. You need to give yourself rest in order to reflect on what you've been doing at work, to now do something with other life. So then once you go back to work, there is something, you have more energy, you have
Exactly.
more experience. Basically, you have time to reflect. You need sometimes you need to take a pause. That's why I think those like the thing what I've noticed in Kenya, people don't really used to not have a culture of taking leaves. Let's say you have a 20 days of that you can allocate for your vacation, and people would just wait till end of year,
Yes, December.
till December, and then basically try to take it all at once, everyone. But not even like that. They would take like a few days or 1 or 2 weeks, but the 20 days is still there. So, and in general, I would feel like there is this culture of people not really feeling like it's normal to take a leave
Yeah.
and don't think about work. They would either get sick leave Is that true?
Yeah, I
People,
think embracing what you call like vacation.
yeah.
For us, we don't really call them vacation.
Uh-huh.
Just like taking leave just to rest a bit.
We call it
Uh,
vacation because it's a vacation. You have 20 days of vacation, you know? I think maybe
Yeah.
that's why.
Yes, that's why. Because when we think of vacation, we think like you need to travel, you need to like do this and this and this. So I think basically for us, it's like I'm taking leave, which is off work, a few days off, just relax and then come back to work. But I think also many organizations right now are really encouraging their employees to be able to take their leave, because in many, if you don't encourage them, then they'll burn out and productivity again will be down. And then there's this culture again of people getting frustrated, feeling overworked. So every organization should just make it a point to make sure that when people have leave days, take and rest, because you can never pour from an empty cup. You have to replenish.
Exactly.
You have to rejuvenate. You have to nourish yourself. So for me, I am that of those people that at the end of December, I don't have days to go because I've taken days
Nice.
within the year, and then it reaches December. I don't have enough to go for the 2 weeks that people normally go. But I appreciate that we have that opportunity to take, and I'll encourage anyone that it is very important to take leave. Just go, rest, even if you don't have anything, because most of the people sometimes say that I don't have money to spend. What am I going to do? I don't have a plan. Why should I waste my days? You get. But I think
Yeah.
even just being in the house, resting, not just thinking about work, is very healthy.
I think that this is also up to managers to make these things very clear to the people they work with that, hey, why you're not taking leave?
Exactly.
But like, just take a leave. I know that deadlines and projects, of course, they will be always, but you need to take leave.
Yes. Yeah. For me, I encourage people like take your days, go rest, and then come back when you are re-energized.
I'm gonna request for a leave on Monday, I guess.
I also took wine on Monday so that I can rest.
Nice.
Yeah.
I see you are prepared.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mhm.
Yeah. I wish you have a very good rest.
Thank you.
Even though it's only one day. Yeah.
Yeah, one day is very important because just being in the house doing nothing, very
Wow,
important.
that's
Yeah.
great.
It's great. You go back to work feeling now I have more
I
to
have a
give.
4 days working week. Awesome.
Sure. And I always encourage anyone. And I also like
Smart.
my current employer really
Mhm.
focuses on just encouraging people to take leave, because we understand the importance of
People are
having
more
rest. Yeah.
happy. They have more passion when they came to
Exactly.
they get to work. Yeah, true.
And you are energized.
Yeah.
You just feel I'm ready to take more responsibility and even go extra mile because you have the energy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Going extra mile. Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
Yeah. It's been really nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. It feels different, but
Yeah.
thank you.
We'll talk again.
Yes.